The Arroyo Seco Parkway solidifies LA's future as the world's first major city dictated by the car. Motor-capable streets will shape neighborhoods and entire cities. And then, the car becomes something beyond just transportation. It seeps into one's recreation, social life, and personality. Eventually, 1/3 of all land in Los Angeles will be paved. The halcyon era of early cars' novel and exciting potential have passed, but the Southland is still dotted with enduring shrines to those early budding days. Out in the Inland Empire is the Wigwam Motel, a super cool late stop on the famous Route 66. There's only 3 of these classic motels left in the country, and I'm betting the world. You can also do it in a teepee. Wink, wink. You can have sex in a teepee. Drive to La Puente, and you can get your sugar rush at the Donut Hole. It's a giant drive-through donut and donut shop. Do I have to sell this any more than this? Hey, how's it going? Grab a raspberry jam-filled donut, please. Do the fumes ever go in there? No. Okay, that's nice. That's good. Awesome. Thank you. You have a good day. Yeah, it's definitely not the quality. It's fine. Just 5 suburban blocks north from there is an LA first that I bet the majority of you watching this have lazily visited in the last week. I definitely have. In-N-Out Burger in Baldwin Park was the very first drive-thru in the world. That is it. What else do you want from me? This is only like 70 years old, but in like 1,000 years, it's going to be like the new Parthenon. I'm sure there was car accidents. I'm sure people just parked right there and just like left to try to order a burger. Before this, you had car hop service where you would drive into a place and like a girl would come out on roller skates and they'd put a metal tray on your car and put the food there. And because it was like the 50s, all the teens were like drinking and smoking. This small building took an entire, basically, car hop. Everyone knows what a drive-thru is. Why am I explaining this? The automobile also influenced the housing architecture of the time. This is a dingbat apartment, designed modern to show off your car with tuck-under parking. As you can see, some have subsequently had garage doors added to them. Dingbats are most common along the Sunbelt, but the epicenter of them in the world is Los Angeles. People don't like them. They're seen as cheap and soul-crushing, but when they've been refurbished right, I think they're pretty cool and like kind of chic and modern.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Big car culture at that time. Hot rods and cars were a big part of our identity in those days. But it was kind of a case where if you had a car, you were free to do what you wanted to do. If you didn't have a car, you had to beg and borrow and steal whatever you could get to get some transportation.
And still spread throughout Southern California from this heyday are drive-in movie theaters, though the majority of them today also operate as swap meets.
I mean, the drive-in was a social event. If you took a girl to the drive-in, that was a big deal.
Like, why was it a big deal to take a girl to the drive-in in that day?
Well, because you could make out.
It was the easiest place to do that.
Yeah, because you got to realize that before that was only inside movie theaters. Put your arm around a girl, everybody in the theater knew what you were doing. Well, if you took them in a car, you could put your arm around it and the windows would fog out and they couldn't see in anyway. So
amazing.
It allowed you to have independence and some freedom to do what you wanted to do. Drive-in movie was risque in some ways and freedom in other ways. So it could be anything you wanted it to be.
So also something from this era that is still around and still very cool, but there's not a lot of them left, is the drive-in market. I don't know how this is legal, but I love it. Okay. Hey, does anyone want anything?
I remember always being in my sister's car with her going to the dairy. They predated the 7-Elevens and the Circle Ks, except you literally drove into them. You rolled down your window and you told them what you wanted and they rang it up for you.
I'm gonna grab an Airhead. Love Airheads. I will grab some Takis. Russ, this what you wanted?
So my oldest sister had cerebral palsy. She was born with basically that's a birth defect. She had kids, she drives, she had a pretty normal life, but it's really a pain in the ass for her to get out of her car. And so this was like a godsend for my sister because she could just do most of her grocery shopping by just driving into the dairy and getting her things she needs. So when those dairies went away, it was kind of a bummer for her.
Have you ever had anyone like drive into any of the stuff before?
No, never. It's been good. So far it's been good. Knock the wood.
Knock on wood. Thank you so much.
Sir.
You have a good day. Oh, you want to get me driving out? Cool, let's do it. Thanks.
Some people say LA feels impersonal or not like a real city because of the reliance of the car. But is Venice less charming because of its inconvenient boats? Or is San Francisco more impersonal because of its steep, inconvenient hills? Just because the geography of your identity is a little askew doesn't make it inferior. And once you embrace it, you define your own set of pleasures within it.